Good evening and welcome to Mental Health Matters After Hours. This is the show where we talk about all things health and well-being. And tonight we have Kiran Singh joining us. She has had a successful career as an interior designer, and now as a coach she is helping us interior design our life. Let's head over to the main studio.
It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm looking forward to this discussion because your career is so varied, but what you do, it all complements each other, and I think that's brilliant. Do you mind sharing your professional journey?
Yes, of course. So I started as interior designer back in Norway. So my dad was into refurbishing our house every year. Brand new furniture. Yeah, every year we import furniture from France and Italy, marbles and mahogany wood, everything you can think of. Every year my dad loved it. Wow. He was brought up in poverty from India, so he wanted to build that luxury lifestyle. So I kind of picked that up from him. And then I've always been all about rearranging furniture. So my parents would be sleeping in the middle of the night. I'll move furniture around, light scented candles, and when my parents will wake up in the morning, they're like, Kiran has been awake. You know, they knew I had been up to something. So interior has always been like my passion. Still is. It's my creating a home is kind of, it's a part of my being, like second nature. So I started as interior designer. Then I started working as a stylist for estate agent companies, for the magazines, did photo shoots. And was one of the winners in Norway at that time as one of the top interior stylists. And then I moved to the UK. And start my interior designing. Then I started teaching design at the local art centre, so people could actually learn how to turn the home into a sanctuary.
Oh, I love it.
You know, so they will come with the problems, and I'll sit there one-on-one, we create mood boards, do some illustrations, and bring photos, and I say, do this, do that. So that kind of expanded out to that, and then I wrote my first book. At that time, it was something else, but now it's creating a soulful home.
Oh, beautiful.
Sounds lovely.
So since then, designing, up till date, I will style my home with the seasons. So when it's spring outside, I bring green cushions and plants and change the artwork. Nothing extravagant, just simple things. Summertime is blue. Bring the ocean in. Autumn is all burnt oranges and cozy teddies and pumpkins, fairy lights.
Wow.
Christmas is Scandinavian, it's all red and green and wood, because I'm Scandinavian, so I love that kind of in my home. Winter's all white and ivory, neutral tones, making cozy, to retreat and to unwind, just like nature.
I want to take you home.
Yeah, I was just
oh my gosh!
So I think because I do that, then, it's all about living with the season. Then I learned the concept of slowing down. You know, we're always hustling. I've been the hustler, working non-stop to make ends meet, to make yourself known,
Yeah,
and then I thought, no, slow living concept is me. That's what I want to do. And then from slowing concept, I started doing intentional living, live more intentionally, because we don't live intentionally.
Yes.
And this thing kind of merged together, and I decided to become a life coach back in 2014. And then I became a nutritionist, because why not? You need to eat food that's aligned with seasons.
It all fits beautifully.
It really does. So it's all a lifestyle. It's all a lifestyle.
Yes.
So when I say I'm a midlife lifestyle coach, it's obviously I'm a midlife woman. I'm in my late 40s. Lifestyle is something that's ongoing. We as women, we grow, we learn, grow, evolve all the time. And so does our habits, our vision, our desires. We change all the time. And our home, our life should reflect who we are becoming.
Yes, or rather that's how we not need our home to be. I don't want to put that on people, but that can really benefit us.
Absolutely.
I can see how that makes a difference. Because otherwise, I know we've just changed our front door, and I love it because it's kind of like, yes, that's what I feel like.
Yeah.
But I know I could have lived with the other door quite happily.
Yeah.
And so I think that's part of the problem. We almost put off that sort of transition because we kind of go, well, do I need to?
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
That's how we kind of live.
It's not fine, because I think our environment, because we're home or in the office all the time, if your home and your workplace doesn't reflect who you are, then you won't have the inspiration to do what you want to do. You need to have the right environment. You need to be there in the right mindset. So I work from home, and I love my home. It's like I have a little office nook under a slanted roof, and with 2 screens. And we finally say, okay, you know what? I've done the constructive work now I'm going to sit on the sofa with my laptop. Put on my Google Hub, what's in the background, but I'm going to still do some writing or anything. But it's like, for me to get inspired, I need to have an inspired environment. I tried going to cafes and I tried going to hotels, like posh hotels, to kind of feel I'm posh, but I'm realizing it's not me.
I love this because you are genuinely lifestyle.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call you a life coach.
Yeah.
It is lifestyle coach. And I think that's really important. So I guess that brings me on to, what key issues do your clients face? Because I think, like you said, we were both realising we could live in an old me style without even realising it.
Yeah.
So,
That's because we're on autopilot.
Yeah.
Because we have been in that role for so long time, we don't know how to function differently.
Yeah.
So when you do actually, you feel, okay, I need to change. And sometimes it's not a big change, but you will know beneath your skin, you're feeling, okay, you're urging for something, I need to change, but I don't know what to do. Where do I start? So while I'm doing my life coaching, this was before COVID happened, I was brought up with the mindset that the more you have to show the world, the happier you would be. So I would accumulate stuff.
Yeah.
Not even expensive stuff, but in the charity shops, I'm a charity shop person. I love everything from there. Because these are things that tells a story. And you want to have something that tells a story, not anything random from any shop. So when I started peeling back the layers of who I really was, I got rid of 95% of my belongings.
Wow. That's a
That's
lot.
a massive change.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. It's not easy. It's not an easy thing to do.
I was struggling because I held on to my mum's clothes. She had these Indian saris from when she was younger. She had them for 30, 40 years. Then she gave them to me. I had them for 20 plus years. I never wore any of them. She never wore any of them. I thought, what? They're not meant to be for me. I kept one, which I remember Mum wore when I was a child. But everything else I got rid of. My wedding clothes, I've been divorced for 22 years. Why I'm holding on to it, I think I kept it for my daughter, that when she gets married, she can take it. And I thought, no, because my energy when I got married was different. Yeah. I don't want her to wear something in all bad energy. I want her to find her own way. So I decluttered like a crazy woman. Oh, amazing. Literally like a crazy woman.
Love it.
Got rid of everything. And then we moved to Hastings literally a week after lockdown. Okay. During the week... Yeah, I think before the first lockdown, we packed our bags within 2 weeks. Packed our bags, moved to Hastings.
Wow.
And then, obviously, you can't go out and socialise. And when we moved in, even though I'd gotten rid of so much stuff, I was in this apartment all by myself with boxes stacked. I was crying.
Oh gosh, I'm not surprised because it's depressing.
Yeah, it's hard.
Even if you're happy
anyway.
that you moved, it's the boxes. It's overwhelming.
Yeah. I was literally seafront, so 30 meters away from the building was a seaside.
Wow.
Dream apartment. Honestly, perfect. But because I sat there with boxes, I'm like, what have I done? I was like second guessing my choices. My daughter got a place at college there anyway, so we were going to move. We weren't planning to move until June. So I think when you start peeling back the layers of who you think you should be, because people, society, family, friends, everyone, they have an imprint on you. And you start questioning, okay, I feel this about myself, but where is this belief coming from? And then the amount of times I've had that conversation with myself till date, and when I like thinking, oh, you don't look good in your glasses. And I think, where's it coming from?
Who's that voice?
And it's my dad. My dad said to me, don't look like my daughter when you're wearing glasses.
Oh.
So that stayed with me. I'm a life coach. I should be able to work through these things. But that's one thing that stayed with me.
Yeah.
So when you start asking yourself the questions of where these beliefs are coming from, and you realize they're not your own, you change.
Yeah.
That's when you change.
And these are common issues. I think we all have these, and I think that is really important to highlight. Amazing.
Oh,
So it's literally a reinvention of who you used to be to who you are now, and you need to find that balance back again.
Yes. Yeah.
That's so interesting. Yeah, me too. I love it. I think your idea of interior design, designing your life, being a metaphor for changing your mindset.
Brilliant.
It's absolutely brilliant. And like you said, it really goes hand in hand. So how did your previous work in design enhance your life as a coach? Or your work as a coach?
I think it just comes down to what matters. When you start, when you curate a home, you're very intentional about everything you bring in. And that's, we think about furniture, we think of mugs and wallpaper, but what about yourself as a person? Are you curating who you have around you? The people we think are friends and family, are they good for you? The clothes you're wearing, do they make you feel fucking fabulous? Or is it actually like, no, I'm just going to make do with whatever I have right now, Yeah. It's like, when you start thinking that sense as a metaphor, how do you feel internally? Your life is meant to feel something, and if you feel miserable, despite you having all the luxuries, something is missing.
Sorry to interrupt you, because I know you've got another question, but you make so much sense when you talk about curating your life. It is a time where a lot of us go quite minimalist. What do we actually want to bring in? Whereas when we talk about life in general, we kind of go, we'll bring it all, all the baggage.
It's so true.
We don't even stop and say, well, that's not good for me. I don't want that anymore. I don't want...
That's the thing. I learned that as well through my journey. It's like, I'm holding on to these things, but you actually reflect the woman I am today.
Yeah.
It's so true. I'm going to go home and just get rid of everything.
Yes.
So inspirational. So what if you want to make a really big change, a reinvention, as you kind of advocate, but you don't know where to start?
Decluttering.
Ooh.
Which is where
exactly what you said.
You need to make space for what you want to bring in.
Okay.
If you're surrounded by clutter, surrounded by too much stuff, surrounded by visual clutter, and it messes up your mind and you can't do things straight. You need to declutter first. Start with a drawer. Start with makeup. Start with a kitchen drawer, or that what's the drawer called again? The messy drawer, whatever you all have a messy drawer. Start with one thing, and then which is important to you, not like the bathroom, because obviously we all use the bathroom, but something that's personal to you.
Yes.
Not a living room for everyone else to enjoy, because they won't understand your journey. So you start with your own belongings. You start with you.
As you should, actually, because there is this discussion, or we've had this with people who have dealt with organising and hoarding and things like that, is I can't make the decision to just chuck something out that doesn't belong to me. It's not appropriate. So I think that's a really good point. And doing it for you with things that belong to you, it forces you to think, who am I? Why am I holding on to this?
And it's also made me think of something that happened with my husband. We were up in we've got to declutter the loft. It's horrendous. But we were talking about our respective university boxes, with all the written things in. And my husband said, I'm just going to throw it all out. And I went, you can't. So he hasn't. But who am I to say?
Yeah, it's not yours. No,
it's not mine. I was just like, but all that work you put into it. But he really wanted to get rid of it. It didn't matter to him.
I think what I would say to that is, like, I kept so many of my things over the years in the hope that I'll give it to my daughter, but she will appreciate it. But she is not living my journey. I kept mum's things because it was my mum's, but her journey wasn't my journey. So what I did, I kept one sari. I'm going to turn it into a gown I can wear whenever I go to India.
Beautiful.
I had this jewellery box which belonged to my mum, and I loved it. It was like the only memory I had. But I thought, I'm never going to use it. I took a picture. It's on my Google Drive. Because I know, and I said to Kirsty the other day, I said, my mum stitched this really nice little kind of wall painting 40, 50 years ago. And I said, do you want to keep it? She said, yeah, I can do. And when she said, yeah, I can do, I'm like, okay. She has no connection. It's my connection. So I said to her, you know what? No, never mind. You're not going to keep this unless you really, really want to. Because she never knew my mum. My mum passed away when she was 3. So she doesn't have any connection to it. So when we hold on to things, we do it for ourselves, not for others. But then again, is that thing actually helping you move forward in life, or is it holding you back?
Such a good point.
And what a brilliant metaphor for life. Let's keep keeping, Kiran, and we'll be back just after this.
Our passion for coffee goes way beyond the cup. We believe in a fair production chain in which each coffee farmer plays an essential role. We are proud to support our communities and promote environmental sustainability. Bedford Coffee Roasters guarantees an exceptional experience for producers and consumers. Join us on our journey to extraordinary coffee, where quality, sustainability and fairness come together to create an experience unlike any other. Ground with passion, served with pride. Bedford Coffee Roasters, coffee worth drinking.
Welcome back to Mental Health Matters After Hours. We are here with Kiran Singh. She is an interior designer and coach. And we are talking about lifestyle and lifestyle changes, lifestyle transitions, and you are really inspiring us, Kiran. It's great. I mean, for me, whilst you're talking, I know Jude's got the first question, but how do you I've got to ask this for personal, how do you avoid that regret? Because I have to admit, I have done the big declutters. I've done the uni notes. I have done my mum's, some of her heritage stuff, that kind of things. I've done it all. And then I go, oh no, I really want that one thing.
Oh, do you?
And I know, it's weird. And then that stops me throwing out more stuff now.
Okay.
So
I think ask yourself, is this adding value to me?
That's a good question. Yeah, is this adding value to me long term? I guess maybe that's the question I need to ask myself. And the answer is probably not.
Yeah.
But needing it for that one thing, could I get it from somewhere else?
It comes down to if you wait for that one day, you keep this one specific thing for one day. Like growing up, I bought these really nice things. I bought a dinner set, vegetable dinner set back in my 20s. I kept it for 22 years, never used it.
Oh.
I thought that one day I'm going to use it. 22 years went by, I never used it, I gave it to charity. We keep holding on to our best things for that one day. By the time that one day comes, we don't feel the same about thing anymore because we have changed. When you like something in the shop, it's because you like it there and then. It adds value to you there and then in that moment. But let's say, like I said, we grow and evolve all the time. Maybe 2-3 weeks later, a year later, you feel like, I can't connect to this anymore. I was a different person. So holding on to this, is that going to bring that time back when you're not the same person anymore? So I think it's really kind of, use your best things now when you feel...
That's important.
When you feel that love
agree with
and
that.
affection towards that thing. But if you don't feel anything, even though it might be a regret later, but it's never a regret, is it? It's more like, I'll keep it that one day when that one day comes.
Yeah, my only problem is that one day's here. I'm going to Malaysia in a couple of weeks to do a documentary on my heritage. And I had all of these outfits that my mum kept, which I don't have anymore because I got rid of them. And I'm like, oh, no. To be fair, I am going they've arranged for me to go to a shop to be dressed up, to do all of that. So it's not like I needed my mum's.
Yeah.
So I guess there is that, but it's
you bring the message about your ethnicity and your
background. Yeah, it's still the message, isn't it?
It doesn't matter if it's a mum's clothes, your clothes, or your family's clothes, or anything. It's like, as long as you bring that message forward, that's what matters. I think that's the way you can change your mindset about that regret.
I love that. Sorry, a bit of therapy. I love this show.
I think it's so interesting, and I was going to say, doing the documentary and being immersed in it has obviously made you feel closer to your mum's and your mum and her things. Which that's why you haven't thought about them until now. So you're right, you don't need them now.
Yes.
And the most important thing is you're doing the documentary
and being there in myself.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
They serve the purpose without even being there for you.
Oh.
So you said that all in a nutshell.
Love it.
Yeah, I love that. So I mean, on that note then, how do you stop going back to old habits when things get really tough?
Yeah.
I think simplifying. Once you need to sit down and write what's important for you. What do you really want to do with your life? Apart from being a mum, wife, partner, whatever, you're still your own person. You were your own person before everyone else came along. So for you to then not go back to old habits, which is very easy to do. Yeah. But then again, I think ask yourself the question: is this important to me? If it's important, you will make the time for it. Sure. You will make it a priority. You will do something about it. If it's not important to you, if you really don't want it, it'll go on the back burner, literally. Like I want to go back to Pilates. I've been trying for 6 months. It's not important. It's not important to me yet.
Yeah. And when it is, yes.
When it will, I will roll out the mat and do it. Yeah. But right now, as long as I move my body, and I think you need to kind of find the right balance. So if you can't do one thing, then find something else you can do that will make you feel equal. Like, I didn't get to do that, but I did this. Like yesterday, I was going to Pilates. I didn't do it, but I went for a 2-hour walk. So you find a balance.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
And what about when the changes that you want to make or we want to make affects others, a family living with us? How do we balance our needs with theirs?
Communication. you need to talk about whatever you're going through. They can't dream whatever's going on in your mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't know how important something is to you, or why it is, or
Like I'm going through perimenopause, and I said to my daughter, "This is my situation right now. Educate yourself. Yeah. If you think I'm being rude, or I'm tired all the time, or I don't have energy, or whatever, educate yourself. I'm not being this intentionally. This is just how my body functions right now. No day, no night is the same." So you need to talk, you need to communicate, you need to tell everyone, this is what I'm going through, this is what I will be doing. You know, just be prepared, just keep that in the back of your head before you start having a go at me, or, you know, you're always angry, or this, that, and the other. No, it's not.
Yeah.
It's like from a very young age when I had my periods, used to come, I said to my daughter, "Is that time of the month soon? So if mum is a bit grumpy, you know the reason." And she would like, "Hey, mum, it's that time when mum is fine." So she was prepared.
That is really nice, actually, because I mean, it's just going back to the university notes. That could be a really interesting conversation. Why is it so important to you?
Yeah,
you know, and I think that would be—it's bonding, isn't it?
Yes, I think it was. Yeah, there's so many things that come into it, and so we do need to broach it again because we do need to.
We need to communicate.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about communication.
I mean, and it's talking about perimenopause. This kind of brings me quite nicely to the next question. I feel that we in the lifestyle media, we've reclaimed this midlife crisis. We've got its midlife change. Yes. We're empowering ourselves. We are, you know, all of this positive stuff. But then I almost feel we're sending a message out there which is change for change's sake. That's not good for everybody. Some people are genuinely really happy doing what they've been doing for ages, and they don't want to. And why should they? Yeah. And what right have I got to go and start saying, "Oh, you must be bored of that by now"? Because they're not. No. They're loving it. They're living their best life like that. How do we kind of deal with the danger of somebody, maybe someone comes to you going, "I want to change everything," and you're sitting there going, "I don't think you do"?
I think you just need to ask yourself why. Where is this question coming from? Why do you feel the need of change? That's the biggest thing. Why do you feel the need of change? And like, for example, I moved from Norway to the UK. I wasn't in midlife. I was 30 at that time. But because I lost everything back in Norway, I didn't see any way out. I lost my mum. I lost my apartment. I literally lost everything. And I thought, you know what, for me to live life on my terms, I'll have to move away from what's familiar. And that's the rest of my family. I packed my bags, took my daughter, who was 3 years old at that time, and we moved to the UK. I have no family here, no friends here when I moved here.
So brave.
But I took that chance and that risk, despite knowing it might fail miserably. But I knew I have it in me to build whatever I want to build. You know, I will make shit happen if I need to. Yeah. And I wanted a better life for my daughter.
Yes,
the life I never had, the mindset and freedom I never had, I wanted her to be brought up in that mentality and that mindset. So I made a change. It hasn't been easy. It's never going to be easy. But as long as you believe in that you can make things happen, you believe in yourself, regardless of ups and downs, it will fall through in one way or another.
It's interesting you say that about the move, because I think some people almost... whether they're born with the mindset or whether that's the parents' mindset. I remember I was a bridesmaid at a friend's wedding, and her husband gave a speech about how her parents had moved countries and she'd moved everywhere, and he'd been in the same house, in the same road, you know, almost. And even now they were practically down the road. And it's a different... That's a completely different mindset. So for my friend to say, "I'm going to change jobs," actually not that scary for her.
No,
She's kind of almost really used to it. But for the husband to say, "I'm going to change jobs," that takes a bigger shift. I mean, how do you...
It's the comfort zone. You've been so stuck in the comfort zone. I'm comfortable here.
Yeah.
I don't want change.
Yeah.
I don't want to make a difference. I'm happy, I'm content.
Yeah.
But then you're also not, you know, embracing the opportunity for growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when you have been in a certain mindset and certain way of living for too long, not only do you run on autopilot, but you don't see anything outside the box. You can't understand other people. So any change for you is going to be difficult. Like me and my brother, we have moved across countries and stuff. He lives in Norway. And his new partner, she has lived in the same town all her life, never done anything. So for her to take the step to move from a different house is like very scary
Huge.
for her. Like for us, it's like, I can pack my bags and go to Bali today if I wanted to.
Yeah.
I know I can go set up my life wherever I want to because I work online. I have that freedom, but this is the way I want to live. But if you're happy and content in that little bubble, you're never gonna grow and evolve as a person, and then you're missing out on so much in life.
Yes, I think that's the thing. I think you can. It's not necessarily a change that you're making, but it's an expansion.
Yes.
That's all, really.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Expanding your world.
Yes, and that's really positive.
It's expanding your comfort zone. That's what you're doing. It's not like, get out of the comfort zone, it's expanding it.
Yes. On a slightly separate note, now, this is something that you do yourself.
Yeah.
You are the founder of the Sattva Collective.
Yes.
And this is for South Asian women. Could you tell us a little bit more about Sattva and the importance of the culturally sensitive approach that you take through it?
Yeah, sure. So I went to Cambridge a few months ago. Never thought about having any CIC at all. On the bus, looking at the nature, I was like, I should have my own charity.
And why not?
And the next thing I know, on the bus journey and all my trip through Cambridge, I was brainstorming ideas. And within a month, it was registered.
Wow.
I'm a website designer, so I designed a website. I have contacts in Asian media, so I sent a press release. So I started because, from my cultural perspective, we don't talk about menopause. We don't talk about midlife. I had this conversation with my auntie a few months ago. I had just finished my menopause wellness certification, and she called from Norway, and she's like, "What have you been up to?" I said, "I just finished this qualification." "Oh, what's that?" I said, "Menopause." "What's that?" I said, all women go through midlife and menopause. "Oh, I never went through menopause." I'm like, "No, you did, but you didn't know what it was."
Yeah.
So we actually had this kind of little bit of a debate. I said, when you used to be tired in your late 40s and exhausted and mood swing up and down, that was menopause. When your period stopped, that was menopause. Just like, but I used to work 3-4 jobs. I was never ill or this, that, and that. I said, no, but you didn't have the awareness. You didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
And when I hit perimenopause, I didn't know what it was either. I just felt my body change. I couldn't understand for the life of me what was going on. And then one of my aunties living in Southall, as in, not my blood related, but a lady called Auntie, she was visiting. I said, "Auntie, this is what I'm feeling. I should have gone through perimenopause." I'm like, I'm too young to be going through perimenopause because I didn't know.
Yeah.
Called the GP, got some blood tests done, and they were like, "No, according to blood tests, no, but according to symptoms, yes." So I thought, okay, I'm going to perimenopause. And then obviously, me being me, I'll research everything and anything I could do to just figure out what to do going forward with my life. Got all the research done. Body changing, but I didn't think too much about it until recently. And again, because we don't talk about it in our culture, in our society, it's not something you will understand, and families don't understand. And I had a conversation with my friend's dad not too long ago. He said, so when the daughter-in-law come into family and when they're married, and the mother's actually going to menopause, but she doesn't know what she's going through. The mother-in-law and the daughter-in-law clash.
They will clash, of course they will, yes.
The mother-in-law doesn't know what is going on, and she can't, vocalize
There's no
it.
words, yeah.
And then when the daughter-in-law goes through menopause later, then she clashes with mother-in-law again, but mother-in-law doesn't realize it's menopause, so she won't understand, okay, she's going through what I went through because she doesn't have the knowledge. So this is what it always ends up clashing.
Yes.
So when we talk about, especially South Asian cultures, like mother-in-law and daughter-in-law never get along, that's the reason.
That's such a huge realisation, isn't it?
The culturally sensitive is really important because in South Asian, East Asian as well, everyone lives together.
Yeah.
Everyone lives under the same roof.
Yeah.
So I remember when I was at school, everyone talked about the nuclear family, and I'm sitting there going, I live with my grandparents as well. And no one could understand this. And so it was, but that's exactly what happens. And so
so relevant.
Mother-in-law and daughter-in-law are going to be living together for a pretty long time.
Yes.
And then almost their behaviours will be, I guess, performed in front of the younger daughter, the granddaughter.
Yeah.
So
who's just probably starting her periods as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And then that kind of
huge
impacts on
implications.
everything.
Yeah, so it's just so much going on which we never talk about. But I think once you start talking about it, so I run this midlife circle meetup, monthly meetup, where I have South Asian women come, and it's a safe space for them to talk and share their knowledge and stuff and what they're going through. And I think it's, when we actually, they have a space where we can talk about things, it just makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah.
And like even how families can get involved. Like I said to my daughter, you better educate yourself, because sometimes I'm not in the mood to cook. I'm not in the mood to go grocery shopping. I have hot flushes all the time. And going out in the heat and then go buy groceries when I don't have a car, I walk everywhere, it's lethal. You know? So I'm like, you know, you need to educate. So I think it's very important that, which is my mission, is to help people to educate themselves so you can understand your mother, wife, sister, whoever's going through perimenopause, menopause better, and be helpful.
Yeah.
We don't ask for much. You know, if I can get a cup of tea in the morning in my bed, I'll be happy. If the bin can be taken out without me reminding, can you please take the bin out? You know, or I saw only one toilet paper roll left on the wall. Can you please go and buy new toilet paper? It's the small things.
It's the small things that make such a big difference.
Absolutely. And when you go to perimenopause and menopause, your emotion is heightened. So if even if like, I wouldn't mind a breadcrumb on the worktop, but now if I see breadcrumb, I'm like, what are you doing here? You're meant to be in a bin or in a sink, you know, you're not meant to be here. So every little thing just becomes so much bigger. And no one understands.
And if no one understands that, then everyone just makes up their own narrative. That's something that we've sort of come back to. We get, if you don't understand what's actually happening, if you're not educated about it, just make it up, and that makes things problematic for everybody. This is a fascinating conversation. Kiran, you're staying with us. We'll be back just after this.
A world without the arts is one without confidence, creativity and community, and yet funding has been reduced every year. Arts programmes have been shown to benefit social inclusion and well-being, particularly for marginalised groups, with projects fostering a sense of belonging, cultivating mutual understanding and breaking down social barriers and isolation. Participation in arts programmes can help boost confidence and open doors to opportunities that may otherwise be inaccessible. Click Arts Foundation offers grants up to £2,000 for grassroots arts projects twice a year, with our community arts experience trustees meticulously scoring each project on impact and sustainability. To date, we have supported craft and visual arts projects, dance, drumming for wellbeing, and preservation of heritage and culture. If you share our passion, not just for maintaining the arts themselves, but contributing to the many benefits it can bring, please consider making a donation to Click Arts Foundation registered charity.
Welcome back to Mental Health Matters After Hours. We have Kiran Singh with us. She is an interior designer and a lifestyle coach. And we've been having a really fascinating and uplifting discussion about change, about transitions, about not changing, but also about educating ourselves about life's transitions. And I think that is really important. So now let's go to women and who want to reconnect with maybe who they were. Whether that's something that they feel they need to do, or maybe that's something they've read about, or it's, you know, this eat, pray, love thing, or whether it's something that actually is going to be healing for them. What I notice is that women especially tend to slip into a role quite easily, and they play that role and they carry on playing that role, and then they kind of go, I don't want to play this role anymore, but I don't know what else I am. So how do you help, or do you have any top tips for women who want to reconnect?
So I think this is all about, you know, the whole reconnecting with yourself and figure out what you want. But I think also when you're living life on other people's terms, you're being a mum all the time, you're being a wife, sister, everything else, you forget who you are. And the best way can do that is, again, stripping back the layers. What did you enjoy doing when you were younger? What really lights your, you know, your life on fire? What do you love to do that makes you bring a smile to your face? What happened, like recently, and this is quite interesting, so I decided I'm going to write my own love story. I'm the main character. So I started writing, get everything down. So when I was writing, I was this Kiran, right? After a few days, a different version of me came out. A person, something I never knew, I had that side of me, right? And then halfway through, maybe a week into my love story, I said, you know what? I don't want to write this anymore. I want to write my story. And then I started writing my story. And my story was also, the person who's coming through was my dark feminine side. A side that was suppressed by family and society for not being good enough, for being too loud, too much. So I had to suppress her to be this calm Kiran who would literally say, yes, I'll do everything, say yes to everyone, be there for everyone, and put her needs away. So I lived for the last 20 years, 30 years, even 40 years of my life, catering for everyone else but myself. And being a single mum,
it's an added pressure because there is a responsibility within that.
Absolutely. It's for last
and no one to share the parenting
exactly.
with.
And especially we don't have family in the same country. You know, it's just you and her.
Yeah, of course.
So for 21 years, I was just a mum. Recently, when I started writing that story and I felt that old Kiran come out, this time way more powerful. And I think I feel like her today. You know,
wow.
But it was just, when you start writing things down, it can be any scenario you want to, you know, embrace in your life. You want to meet your future self. I always have a chat with my future self every single day. When I'm talking to myself, it's like, what would I do in the future? What will future self show me today, kind of thing. Every month I'll write a letter to my future self, which will be delivered a year later. So I can go back in time and say, okay, this is where I was in life at that time. This is where I am now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's very important that you actually, you know, first of all, you find what really puts into fire. You love what you want to do. You figure that out. And then connect with who you want to be. But be yourself, not the one you think you should be.
And I think that's the hardest part for a lot of people, because I think we can forget who yourself is, because everybody has an expectation of you. Your children have an expectation of you. Your partner might have an expectation. Your parents certainly have an expectation of you. And so I think we almost suppress ourselves without even recognising it.
Even though we do that, there's always a yearning inside. And that voice, that's our intuition, it's our intuition. We all have that voice within us. That when something isn't going right and we feel it, but we still choose to ignore it. That is that side of us we need to bring out.
We need to listen to it. Whether you call it inner child, we had another guest who called it the monkey on the shoulder. There are so many different ways of describing it, but I think it's something that never goes away.
It's never
and we
goes
need
away.
to listen
it's
to it.
always going to be there until you listen to it, until you hear it, embrace that whatever season that is of yours.
Yeah, and actually something I want our viewers to know about is we listen to everybody else's voices.
Yeah, exactly.
Listen to our own.
Yeah.
That's important. Now, I come back to I loved your description about how you work in your office with the slanted roof, and then you go and sit on your laptop. I think that's absolutely brilliant. How can redesigning our environment help us with those practical, it's a practical way of making psychological changes stick. How do we kind of make the start with making those changes?
I think ritualize everything.
Ooh, yeah.
Like when I make a cup of tea in the morning, I light a candle. It's a ritual. It's not just the tea that you're running around drinking tea while you're getting ready. Because I saw Mum do that. She would make one cup of coffee in the morning, reheat it 10-15 times a microwave throughout the day because she never sat down to enjoy a cup of tea. I made myself a promise I'm never going to be that woman. I'm going to sit down, enjoy my tea, and I make my tea. Every day, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, fika time, I'll sit down, light a candle, put some jazz music in the background, and drink my tea.
Love it.
Wow, sounds amazing.
So once you start ritualizing everything, even if you're just by yourself and you're going to have dinner, set a table, light a candle, cook with intention.
Yes, setting the table is actually a big thing. Whether it is setting the table for you to eat, or whether it's, for me, it's making my bed.
Yeah.
I always make the bed because I owe it to myself to go into a bed that's made.
Yeah.
And that's important to me, and I think that's kind of similar to setting the table.
It is.
So it's these little things where, or maybe, ironing an outfit or something like that. It is about doing the thing because you're worth it, to quote an advert.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because I used to be engaged to a Norwegian guy, and but he and his mum and brother lived in this country, and I used to be there all the time. And his mum, who's English but lived in Norway for a long time, setting the table was always a massive thing.
Yes.
And I come from a family where I loved it, but we used to get our dinners, sit in front of the TV and enjoy that as a family together. So for me, it was really new, but it was a ritual, getting all the things out the cupboard to use, and everything was purposeful.
Yeah.
So that sounds like it might be a Norwegian thing, it might be just a her thing, it might be a you thing, I don't know.
I think it's actually a European thing that we switch off. Like in Norway, on Sundays, all the shops are closed.
Yes.
So it's like we in Norway, for example, in Scandinavia, we love our weekends. There's a fine balance between work life and home life. And when you have the weekends, then you literally unplug and switch off.
Okay.
It's that simple. So when you start ritualizing your meals, like when I get into bed at night time, actually I'll spray my lavender spray, light a bedtime candle, put on some sleep music, have my bedtime tea, take my Kindle out or scroll my phone, but I'll get into that zone. So if you start doing that with everything in life, like your wardrobe, make it capsule wardrobe because it screams your name on it, kind of thing. Your makeup and skincare, make it small but make it powerful, make it yours, kind of thing. Jewelry collection, you don't need 100 earrings. Keep 4 or 5 that really make you feel fabulous. It's not about how much you have. It's about how you ritualize everything.
Choice pieces, isn't it? They talk a lot about capsule wardrobes and things like that, where it's just those few choice pieces that you spend your money on, but they are stunning.
And by doing this, you actually pay gratitude for the life you have.
Yeah.
You appreciate and you're content with where you are in life without striving for more. Oh, I want that 10k, let's say fur coat or something, or a Dolce & Gabbana shoes. When you keep striving for more without appreciating what you have, you're never going to move forward. It's always going to be stuck in that little stagnant space.
And appreciating what you have, I guess, also relates to having, I don't mean high quality, but it's hard to appreciate when you bought something for £2 and it's, I cut this to fray it like this.
I love that.
But, but it's that kind of thing. If something's cheap, how do you appreciate that? As in,
Again, that's a mindset thing. Like sometimes I'll buy a few things from Primark, even though I don't like the quality, but I love the design. I'll still look after it. Every few months, I'll take up my debubble machine, debubble all my socks and undies and t-shirts and everything to make it nice, because you respect those things.
I love that.
When you spend your hard-earned money, even if it's £2 on buying something you like, you owe it to yourself and that thing you bought to look after it.
Lots of changes here, Brilliant.
I just love it. I'm just so motivated.
Yeah.
What about doing the whole Shirley Valentine thing and just leaving everything behind? I mean, that's so appealing. And going to live in a new country and have a new life, essentially.
Well, I did that.
Yeah,
we loved it. But I think if I did it again, which I might do, actually, you never know. I'll just pack my bags and go. It's not that I want a massive change. Like, I think I'm in a phase now of my life. My daughter, she's 21. She's going on her own path.
Yeah.
I know I'm going different paths.
Yeah.
We're going to be like this.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, I have my own journey and she has her own journey. And I have built a life of freedom in the sense that I can pack my bags and go whenever I want to.
Yeah.
I used to be held back by my stuff. My coffee tables, my sofas, my this, that and other. And because that's the only belonging, first of all, I have. But then they are lovely curated. Everything's very, very intentional in my house. If it doesn't serve a purpose, it's not in my house. Everything goes out. We have 2 cups, 2 plates, 2 bowls. We don't have more than that. Because it just makes our life easy. So when, for example, I'm away, I see my brother in Norway, I go to Bali, wherever, I know my daughter can hold the fort without being overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I want to come home to a simple house. I don't want to come home to a lot of mess, which I had to clean up because she can't keep my standard. So if you keep your things simple and minimal, it's more doable.
Yeah, I love that. And actually, I know we talk about Shirley Valentine thing as a big deal. To many people, it's not a big deal, is it?
Not.
We've had another guest on the show whose show aired recently, where she moved to Spain.
Yes.
She moved all over the place. It wasn't a big deal. She just wished she knew a few of the practicalities.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
I know. It's exciting, but very daunting for most people, like you say.
It's like right now, when we are parting ways at some point with my daughter, I'm going to buy a caravan. A 6-bed caravan. I'm going to turn it into like a studio flat.
Yeah.
And that's going to be my home.
Brilliant.
So few months I'm going to be at Box End, and then I'm going to go to Hastings and be there in the summertime.
Oh, lovely.
Autumn time, for example, Highlands, Scotland, mountains.
Oh my gosh.
So I can take my home with me, and I think that's the freedom I wanted for myself.
Cool, we've talked about that a number of times.
Yeah.
It's just, so for the fact you're actually going to do it, you have to check in with us and let us know.
Yes.
Very exciting.
Yes. In fact, you can give us updates on your journey and we'll show them.
Please do, yeah.
Because I think this would be fascinating.
Yes, exactly.
I'd love to do that, yeah.
Oh, sounds brilliant. So this is something I'm really interested in, everything you've been saying. But what would your top tips be for a very simple kind of environment design for a healthier space to grow? So what can we do?
I think first of all, again, it comes down to decluttering and parting ways with things that doesn't add life to your life anymore. Basically, it doesn't add any value to your life. Once you start parting ways, you realize what you need and what else you need to bring in. For you to become that person you want to be. Even if there's a new mug you want, you have had that mug for like 10 years and You're like, no, it's okay, I'll make do with it. But sometimes a tiny little change makes a massive difference. You know, and then again, when we have too much visual clutter, and in our menopausal age, it can be a lot. You know, you want to be able to see, okay, you know what, have the clarity and awareness that this doesn't serve me anymore. That blanket I bought 10 years ago, yes, it's nice, but it's not what I want. So the more you start picking up everything you have, one thing at a time, and ask, like, do you add value to my life? Would you, if you were to move, would you take it with you?
Yeah, and that's a really interesting question, because I know when I've moved, I've taken loads of stuff, clothing, I suppose, is my best example. But it's all something I'd wear once, but not necessarily something I would wear and love.
Yeah.
So how do we deal with that? I mean, this is, again, I asked for myself. I'm really not asking for a friend, because I had that issue, but that kind of is linked to teaching and theatre. I don't know when I'm going to need that for a costume at some point.
Yes.
And when I need it, I need that specific thing.
Yeah.
So how do you help somebody who, and I know I've got a friend of mine who, she only gave away some of the stuff because we had a warm space here, and her husband's been trying to get rid of stuff for ages, but she wouldn't do it. So how do you help? She's a guide leader. So how do you help those people who've got that but I might have a class that needs it, or I might have an event that needs it?
I think for that, you need to say, give yourself a timeline. If I don't use it within 1 year, or 6 months, or 2 years, it's going to be out.
Yeah.
And it's this thing, it's a problem on social media, you put your hangers to the opposite direction.
Yes.
Whatever clothes you're using, and you'll be surprised that you only use 10% of a wardrobe.
Yeah.
I said to my friend today, I said, I don't have anything to wear. And I have a capsule wardrobe, so if I couldn't find anything to wear today, she was like, we're going shopping on Sunday. And I thought, no, I'm not just going to buy clothes for the sake of it. I want to make sure these are something I want to grow into.
Yeah.
But my capsule wardrobe is very tiny. I think I got in total about 40 pieces of clothing, all seasons. But then I know these are like good quality pieces that makes me feel good.
Yeah.
So when you have something you're holding on for the one day or the next project, give yourself a timeline.
That's a really good piece of advice, I think.
It is.
And because I think it's really hard for people to. Again, I come back to the person who hasn't decluttered forever, and they are used to it. They have moved into their parents' house, and they're still with the same wallpaper that they had when they were a kid. That person doesn't even know they want to change.
Yeah.
Where does that person start?
That person will probably, I think it has to come from within.
It does, doesn't it?
You know, you can be content in life living the way you're living. You don't need a change. If you're happy the way you are, then it's fine. But I think if you have the mindset of growth and you want something better for yourself, you want to see how far you potentially can take you, you need to get out of the comfort zone. You need to expand it. You know, you need to take the first step, no matter what that step is.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, so much to learn. We are keeping you, Kiran, and we are going to go over to test the trend.
I think brain dump is the most important thing you can do. I work with my coaching through 5 different life categories. One is personality and character, as in you as a person. Second one is your health and well-being. Third one is relationship and connections. Fourth is business, career, or money. And it's quality of life. So if you can narrow down, write a list like a spreadsheet with all these categories, and then write down where you are in your life on these categories and where you want to be. And what steps do you take from where you are to where you want to be. So let's say you want to have toned body, for example, but you're not doing exercise. Then you know, okay, if I start walking 10 minutes a day, that'll take me somewhere. It's a start. Like when I started my yoga practice a few years ago, I did 5 minutes in the morning and 5 in the evening. And before I knew it became like a daily practice for 1 hour. And then within 2 months, I had dropped 3 sizes. And it wasn't even like I went to the gym and changed the diet. I was still the same. But because I dedicated that little bit of time to myself, which I owe to myself to look after myself, it was a change. But it has to come from within. So brain dumping is so important because it also makes you aware of, you know, sometimes we hold on to so many things in our brain. It's like recycle, like the hamster wheel. So until you get that out on paper, you might think like, oh, I got so much to do. And you write everything down and check the paper like, oh, I haven't been brain about this. I didn't know I need this. I've done it so long time ago. So because we never ever go through our list, We empty our brain and we just recycle the thoughts and we get overwhelmed. And that's also the reason why we're always stressed out. So brain dumping and the life category things is a perfect start.
Well, we've reached the last part of this show. We are both feeling motivated and uplifted. Decluttering is definitely what we're going to do.
Yep.
I love the brain dump.
Yeah.
That I do a variation of that exercise, but I think it's so important. Whatever resonates with you, do what works, but it is about getting it out of your head and onto the paper, because it also gives you almost that visual feedback as well.
Absolutely.
Because when it's just knocking around in there, it's never quite what you think it is once it's written down.
It's not the same thing. So we do a brain dump on your phone. It's not the same. You need to write it down on paper.
Yes, I agree.
Because then you're actually getting energy out from your body, from your mind. You put it on a paper and then you can just, I've done this and I've done and that's just something else. This different satisfaction ticking off on your phone.
Yes. Yeah. So much to take away. Like you, I'm going to go back and declutter even more now.
I am. And I was talking about it the other night with my husband. I was saying, I have decluttered the whole house really, but I was looking in the living room thinking there's still too much in here.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, but I don't really want to get rid of it. But if I employ your kind of tactics and think about what value is adding, that's taking it a step further and actually making you think about each individual thing. And if I'm thinking about my living room now, I'm thinking, not very much not much of this adds value. So,
and I'll add one more thing to it. When you have so many things, it's more to clean. You spend more time. You spend more time cleaning, and that's the time. If you didn't have that thing in the first place, you can use that time and energy to something else that's more important.
Yeah,
What matters more.
And I think for me as well, another thing, and it comes back to this, the uni notes thing, because I've had that conversation with my husband as well. He won't throw out his, but I go down the judgmental route. Why? Why aren't you throwing? For God's sake, you're not going to use them anymore. I haven't bothered to sit there and ask.
So your husband's like me.
Like you.
Why would you want to get rid of it? And you're like my husband.
You're not using them anymore. Get rid of them. But jumping straight to the judgmental just kind of stops communication altogether.
Yeah, but what you're doing, you're jumping to the logical. You're being logical and practical.
Or mean,
You're not mean, but because you can't see why you want to keep them. You don't see why he would want to keep them.
I think I do know why he wants to keep them, and I am very aware we're recording. He doesn't watch, neither does his mum. So,
okay.
I actually think there's a psychological reason. At one point, when his family split houses, his mum basically just threw out all his stuff. She just did, because they were. It was a necessity. All understandable in the context of what was going on. Not quite so understandable for a 9-year-old. And so I think he wants to hold on to certain things. He wants the control of doing it himself, which I completely respect. It's just, he's not doing it whilst it's sitting in the spare room.
No, and he's not, presumably he's not opening
not using
it.
So I get it, and I get the conversation that needs to happen.
So funny that we both had issues about old university work.
So you've unlocked a lot of things in today's show. Kiran, now for our viewers, for any top tips, 3 top tips that you have for probably actually reconnecting with who you are, if you're getting that little inkling of, it's not quite right, I don't know what's going on. I think there's something I need to work on.
Answer this question. Why do you want to change? Why do you want to? Do you want to change for yourself or for anyone else? If you want for yourself, then obviously, okay, I want to change because, let's say, I want to feel happier. What makes you happy? So the more you keep asking why, after every time you answer another why, and you come to the answer, and it's so much deeper than what you probably would think. So it's always asking yourself, why do you want to make this change? And who do you want to become? If you make this change, what do you think is going to happen? And do you have it in you to make that change, as in go from where you are right now to where you want to be? It's not going to be an easy journey. Do you have the energy and time? Because also when we jump and make these big changes and we don't follow through, it ruins our confidence in so many ways you never think possible, and we feel like failure. So you need to be realistic. And no day is going to be the same. So sometimes, like we go through menopause and periods and all that stuff, one day you have all the energy in the world. Next 3 days you're in bed crying and sulking. So you need to give yourself grace. remind yourself which phase of life and state of life you are in, and then take action accordingly.
Really important things to remember for all of us. And even if we think we've got a handle on life, sometimes we need this little reminder and a little boost. Kiran, thank you so much. Please do stay in touch with us, because I love this idea of you sending back some videos of you living life
in my caravan.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Off grid. I think it's fantastic.
I will name it. I haven't got it yet, but it's going to be the nest.
Oh, lovely.
I love it. So we can get, you know, a broadcast from the nest.
Yes.
And we'll show that.
Perfect.
It'd be amazing. Oh, well, from all of us here at Mental Health Matters After Hours, good night.